Step out of the car. Ma'am, move over here. Hands up, please.
Why are you doing this?
Let me ask you this. What did you do to that girl?
Police, anyone here? If anyone's up there, come down with your hands up now!
I think there's blood on this wall.
Yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to another case story. Today we're diving into the mysterious disappearance of Samantha Guthrie, an 18-year-old girl who left her mother's house one day and was never seen again. At first it seemed like she had simply vanished, but the truth behind her fate was far worse than anyone could have imagined.
Why don't you explain what's going on?
Just really chased this. What's wrong?
Her story takes us into a world of crime, deception, and shocking confessions.
You're looking at some serious problems.
I got nothing to say to y'all. Without my attorney present, nobody else sitting here, I got nothing to say.
Help us. This is serious. She deserves to be killed like this.
Let's get into it. In November 2018, Samantha's mother, Joan, called the police in a panic. She was terrified that something had happened to her daughter.
Hello. What's going on?
I need to file a missing person.
Okay, for?
My daughter.
Okay. How old's your daughter?
She's 18.
Okay, so what makes her missing?
We can't find her. We got a call yesterday saying she was shot in the head, thrown in the trunk of a car, and they took off.
Someone had claimed Samantha was shot in the head, stuffed in a trunk, and driven away. Police immediately searched the house where it supposedly happened, but they found nothing. No body, no blood, no evidence of a crime.
The police were called yesterday. They went over to the house that it supposedly happened at. They checked. They said they didn't see anything.
Right. Okay.
The house itself was abandoned and had been empty for months. However, Samantha had been known to spend time in such places after falling in with the wrong crowd. Her mother gave police a crucial clue: the name of the man Samantha was last seen with, Danny Hamby.
The name of the person she was last with, the supposed person that shot her.
Okay, sure.
Danny Hamby.
Who? Danny Hamby?
The name didn't mean anything to law enforcement at the time, but it would soon become the key to unlocking a horrifying mystery. Days after Samantha was reported missing, a man named John Marshall contacted the police. He claimed he had vital information, something that could either help save Samantha or lead to the discovery of her body.
Sam had been trying to get a ride over to the house for a few hours. I didn't feel like driving anymore to go pick her up, so I didn't pick her up that night. And a few hours later, she showed up from an Uber, I'm guessing, that her dad had.
All right, now when you say the house, what's the address?
75 Williams.
Okay.
I'm guessing, from what I've been told, her dad paid for an Uber for her to get over there.
Okay.
Marshall told police that he had been at the house the night Samantha disappeared. However, because the police didn't know him, they had to verify his story carefully. He explained that Samantha had spent hours trying to get a ride to the abandoned house. He didn't pick her up, but her father likely paid for an Uber. When police checked with her father, he confirmed that he had indeed arranged a ride for her that night. Marshall then described seeing Samantha arrive at the house with a man named Yoshi. About 30 to 45 minutes later, Danny Hamby arrived with two other people, a woman named Tony and a tall man whose name was either Marcus or William. Marshall's information provided police with multiple possible witnesses, or suspects. If what he said was true, the case had just taken a major turn. Detectives asked Marshall what had happened next, expecting a simple explanation. Instead, they got a horrifying account of Samantha's final moments. Marshall said that at one point in the night, Samantha came downstairs looking shaken and upset. He advised her to leave through the back door, but instead she went to the basement. A few minutes later, she returned with a bloody nose or busted lip before heading back upstairs. Not long after, she suddenly ran down the stairs in a panic. Danny was right behind her. Before she could reach the fourth or fifth step, he pulled out a gun and shot her in the back of the head.
Sam came running down the stairs. Danny was right behind her, and by the time she got to the fourth or fifth stair down from the living room floor, he shot her in the back of the head.
The house erupted into chaos. People screamed and panicked, but Yoshi and William quickly took control, ordering Marshall and the others to help move Samantha's body into a vehicle.
Okay, is Sam alive?
It sounded She was making noises, but in my past experiences, it sounded more like death gargles. Your body's shutting down.
Okay.
Honestly.
So she's still kind of breathing at this point.
Yeah, but she got shot in the back of the head by 8 to 10 inches away with a Smith & Wesson MP40.
At this point, police had already searched the abandoned house once and found nothing suspicious. But after hearing Marshall's disturbing account, they decided to return for another look. The house was still a mess, but there was no clear sign of a murder, until officers noticed small blood spatters on the walls. Then, they found a bullet casing that matched the weapon Marshall had described. His story checked out. Samantha had been murdered, and now police had solid evidence to prove it. Danny and Tony were officially wanted for murder, and police had multiple witnesses who could help build a case against them. But before they could be arrested, something terrifying happened. An emergency call came in from a frightened woman who had run into a stranger's house, begging for help. When police arrived, they found Kimberly, one of the witnesses from the night Samantha was killed.
Hi, how you doing today, sir? What's going on? This young lady came in my back door, and what's going on? You want to step outside and talk? Who's they? Huh? Do you need EMS for anything?
Struggling to catch her breath, Kimberly told officers she had been chased by 2 men, one black, one white. That's when police realized something chilling. Kimberly wasn't just a witness, she had just survived an attack. If the killers weren't caught soon, there wouldn't just be one murder to investigate. The case became a top priority. Detectives were determined to find and arrest Danny and Tony before they could hurt anyone else. A breakthrough came when police received a crucial tip. Danny and Tony had just threatened a man with a gun and were now in a parking lot, boasting about killing someone days earlier. Officers rushed to the scene and confronted them, ordering them to step out of their vehicle. At first, Danny and Tony hesitated, questioning why they were being stopped. But the police stood firm. During a search, officers found a knife in Danny's pocket and a bag of needles in the car. They arrested both suspects, but the hardest part of the case was still ahead: the interrogations. Danny was brought in for questioning first. Detectives read him his rights, but he thought he was only being questioned about the gun incident. He had no idea that police already considered him the prime suspect in Samantha's disappearance. Detectives tried to lead him into giving a false story, hoping to catch him in a lie. But Danny refused to talk. He invoked his right to remain silent and demanded a lawyer. So, police turned their focus to Tony. They warned her that covering for Danny could get her in serious legal trouble. However, Tony denied knowing anything. When detectives confronted her with witness statements placing her at the crime scene, she brushed them off as lies. But police weren't giving up. By pure luck, police arrested a young man named Dylan, also known as Yoshi, on unrelated warrants. Unlike Danny and Tony, Yoshi didn't act like a hardened criminal. During his interrogation, he became visibly shaken and emotional. Within minutes, he was struggling to hold back tears. Detectives picked up on this and pressed further. 15 minutes into the interview, Yoshi broke down. He admitted to helping move Samantha's body, but swore he hadn't been involved in her murder. The detectives now had one crucial piece of information left to uncover: where Samantha's body had been taken. For this, they turned to William. Unlike the others, William had been somewhat cooperative from the beginning. However, at first he claimed he didn't remember where Samantha's body was left. Detectives asked him to focus on small details: what the area looked like, what he heard, what he smelled. Eventually, he described a rural area with orange autumn leaves and a quiet 2-lane road. Officers searched a location near Aiken that matched his description. After weeks of searching, they finally found Samantha's remains. A small butterfly tattoo on her arm confirmed her identity. Her family finally had closure. With Samantha's body recovered, the final phase of the case began: securing justice. Danny, the gunman, was convicted of murder and abuse of a corpse. He was sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 24 years. Tony, who helped cover up the crime, was sentenced to 16 years for tampering with evidence and obstruction of justice. William, who helped move the body, received a 10-year sentence. Yoshi, caught in the middle, was charged with obstruction and tampering, but was granted probation instead of prison time. This tragic case serves as a reminder that justice may take time, but it always catches up. Though the case was solved, Samantha's family was left grieving a loss that no prison sentence could ever undo. That's all for today's video. If you were intrigued by this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. See you next time.